only a good friend and fellow watch obsessed person could look at their buddy and say, I know exactly the watch collection that you need.
Yeah.
Right? And I've done that for Michael. So here we go. What is up, Watch Fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris Vintage Watch Shop.
My name is Michael, and this video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Terrific. More on Squarespace later.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we sat down and you kind of laid out my watch collection, or what it should be.
Yes, I did.
What it isn't and what it should be.
Right.
And that video is available on YouTube. Go watch it after this video. It's very good. Michael did a great job. So today, I've decided, because you've thrust it upon me, to do the same.
Yeah, you didn't decide. I said, hey, how about we make a list for me?
I've decided to do the same for you. It's almost like when people are giving toast and you have to toast back. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm toasting back to my friend Michael.
Two things really quick before you jump into it. One of us got a speeding ticket in Germany.
That's true.
Here's a picture of it.
You need to help us figure out
who got the speeding ticket.
This is. Because Michael and I realized how much we look alike now with a kind of a grainy
Everybody's
camera.
like, oh, Christian's way better look. I'm like, okay.
But it's not that grainy of a camera. So the fact that we can't figure this out, unbelievable.
Christian sent me the picture. And Christian was talking to me on the phone and was like, no, I can see it's you. You actually look pretty good in this picture. And then when he sent it to me, I was like, that's definitely you.
Which makes it funny that I complimented him. And we still have not decided who this is.
Yes, so let us know who you think it is. Christian.
And who's responsible for the $30?
Yeah. You owe me $30. The second thing is, you don't have an actual note of watches. You have pictures, and then you told me to write down some notes. I just want to give them a tease. Christian goes, write these down for me. Boring Rolex, computer science. And at that point, I was like, what?
Is this a roast?
Roast?
Greasy hair.
Greasy hair. Hair's been greasy.
Hasn't showered in years. I sat down. How do you decide what a watch collection should be? I've done this for so many clients before. I've helped them on their journey and watch collecting.
Mind you.
Paying clients. And of course, the vast majority of people that I've done this with and for and blah, 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 it's been over a couple of drinks and we're bullshitting about what would be great. And there is a budget, right?
Yes.
But when we're talking about this imaginary collections, there's not a budget, right? Even though the watches that I put together for you are actually rather affordable, because frankly, but I didn't implement a budget. I'm sure I could build Michael a great watch collection under $10,000 that he would really, really love, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case today. Today we're just gonna go hog. We're gonna go ham, right? So the first category, Michael needs a boring Rolex because
I don't have one already.
Because who isn't, right? Who doesn't want a boring Rolex, right? The idea of a boring Rolex, is a steel watch, something that is mass produced, not very special.
It's also the most how you know you're a watch nerd if you say this is a boring Rolex.
And it's still great, and I love it just the same, right?
Yeah.
It's ultra dependable. It's so comfortable. There's an iconic feature. There's a sentimental feature. You need a boring Rolex, okay?
Yep.
Period.
Done.
So I first said to myself, well, explore. You love Explorers. Maybe I'll get you a special Explorer. Maybe a vintage Explorer. Maybe a 6610. Maybe a 1016. Maybe a gilt dial. Right? These are cool watches. But then I said, wait. We've talked about PVD watches before, and the real Explorer's watch is something that you can beat up. You're not going to want to beat up your 1016.
My vintage Explorer.
Every time you wear it, you'd be saying, oh, I don't want to move a camera equipment, so I don't wear it. So I think I'm going to sell it.
And
I'm like, what the fuck? So I said, well, what about a modern PVD Explorer? And I love this idea. I think it's a beautiful,
that's nuts.
Great watch on a strap, on a NATO strap.
Oh,
you would wear this on every client engagement. You would kick ass. You'd go to Canada, you'd jump in water, you would do everything.
That's where I broke my Rolex.
Exactly. You would take this watch all over the world. You would do everything with this watch.
Yes.
Right?
Wow, banger.
But then I said, okay, wait, now that I'm in the world of PVD, maybe that's a separate category. And maybe that's kind of an exciting Rolex. Maybe we give Michael a Rolex he really wants, which is a Daytona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A stainless steel Daytona. Okay. But a little souped up, to be honest. But I still think that the Patrizzi Daytona, the Daytonas that do patinate in the center, they are a little bit more interesting. They are still expensive, but come on. Old bullshit aside, this is a boring watch.
I held one of these in Amsterdam with Taylor.
You loved it.
Yes, I loved it. Taylor has no idea how much watches cost.
Yes.
Thinks that I'm in the market.
Yes.
And says to the guy at Amsterdam, in Amsterdam, like, I think that he's probably going to buy it.
I think this is the one.
And I'm like,
I'm not buying this.
I was like, I'll think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
The one old man thing, or not even old man thing I'll do with the watch like this, with the Daytona, if I ever get one, do you know what it's going to be?
No, tell me.
Look at the picture. I will be doing that.
What, unscrewing it?
Yeah. I'll keep the pushers unscrewed.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the old man thing I'm going to do.
I think that would be a great watch for you. Of course, because it's a Patrizzi dial, it's a little bit more special, blah, 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 blah. But frankly, I think all of that is a little bit of bullshit. So I still think this qualifies as a boring Rolex. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay? That's your boring Rolex.
That is quite a boring Rolex.
I still do love PVD.
Yes.
I really do. Right? This is something that Michael and I have both shared together. I think maybe at some point we'll both get PVD watches. They're fun. You kick their ass and they wear in so well.
They look better and better as time goes on.
And the greatest PVD watch of all time.
Which I always, if I'm right, I've always... Well, I don't want to say it, just in case.
Karl Lagerfeld's Royal Oak.
Oh!
You were wrong? What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I was still thinking we were on Rolex category. You want the PVD sub.
That's true.
And I've, in my head, I have banished that from a watch that I'll get.
Right.
I thought you were going to give me the honor, but that's...
No, that's still mine. This is the watch, I think, for you. I think you like a steel Royal Oak,
100%,
right?
yeah.
This is a jumbo. It even go a little bit smaller, 37, 38, but all of the wear on every facet. Yeah, that's what makes the Royal Oak do so well with PVD. The whole thing will just sort of dissolve around the edges.
That's amazing.
And that's a watch that you're going to bang and wow, that's gold. I don't know why I did that. You're going to bang it and not care, and that's exciting. And I think that, what's cooler than banging around a PVD, which is delicate, AP? That's cool.
Carefree.
That means, you've really been into this for a while and you're wearing the watch for the right reasons. And I think that you always wear watches for the right reasons.
Thank you.
As opposed to me, who just wears gold like a fucking ass.
Wow, let's go. Well, speaking of, I wanted to ask you about that watch because it fits your outfit and your wrist perfectly.
I went this morning with a friend to Barney Greengrass, which is maybe my favorite breakfast place in the world.
I saw a TV show about that when I was a kid.
What TV show?
It's this... Singing Dinosaur?
Singing Dinosaur? They went to Barney Greengrass?
No. It's Barney. He sings.
Oh, you're an idiot. Well, Barney Greengrass is the Sturgeon King, Upper West Side, I think like 89th Street and Amsterdam. And it's great. And I said to myself, that's a place where like the kind of archetype of just retired old Jewish man, right?
Yeah.
Sits there and eats his sturgeon. And that is just the coolest look in the world. I mean, you could sit there and just people watch all day and it's just the best, Yep. So I said, well, what does that look? So I said, green polo and a gold watch,
green terry polo, gold watch,
and maybe I'll look half as cool as some of those older guys.
This is a banging outfit.
Thank you so much.
What watch is this?
This is a Piaget.
Quartz?
They're all quartz. Well, I'm sorry. All of my gold Piagets with bracelets are quartz.
Available in the shop?
No, this is mine. Yes, this is a very great watch. Wow.
Well, before we switch off the AP, do you know what AP I would get PVD'd? Military dial.
Oh, sick.
Yes.
That is even crazier. You're right.
That's wild.
That is phenomenal.
Yep. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Do you already have 2 websites?
I do. I have 2 websites, 2 domains, but so much of my career as an entrepreneur is been able to happen because of Squarespace, right? 8 years ago when I started my first business, I really didn't have any money, nor did I have much skill, but I did have hopes and vision.
It's all you need sometimes.
But when you don't have money, you can't afford to hire a team to, build your website or any of that. And it's so daunting. It's really so scary. And someone said, hey, try Squarespace. Right? It's actually the second place I tried. The first place was terrible. Competitor was terrible.
Okay.
But the second place I tried was Squarespace. And they were just, immediately I realized, oh my God, I can do this. Right? You don't need to be a genius to build this beautiful and functional website. Right? When we launched Theo and Harris, maybe a week later after starting to play around with the site, which is nothing, by the way, people thought that we had been around forever. Right? People thought that we were already a big company, with all this inventory. Yeah. It was amazing to have that instant validation, which you get from a truly professional website, right? Mm-hmm. So not only do I recommend that you head on over to Squarespace now and build your website if you're starting a business, but if you already own a business and have a domain and have a website, I strongly suggest take a look at Squarespace, right?
Just a gander.
Poke around, look at their templates, see how easy it would be to move on over, to migrate your site, to start a new one, a better one. Because let me tell you, flat out, it makes more money. That's it, right? People see that really strong presentation, not to mention your functional backend that will make your life so much easier, and you will make more money. Period. And I make more money. Everyone makes more money. It's a beautiful thing when you have a more functional, basically front of house.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. I love Squarespace. I wouldn't be here without them.
And even from when you began, Squarespace has been improving themselves dramatically every year, every single day. If we're looking at features such as the Fluid Engine, which makes it super easy to drag and drop images. You can also schedule blogs and write blogs right from your Squarespace website without adding anything extra. And then finally, if you want to have an actual storefront, Squarespace can grow with you and give you a point of sales system, which makes everything even easier. So if you want to sign up for Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com/Theo Harris to save 10% off your first order of a website or a domain.
There is no substitute.
No.
Next thing about Michael is, he was in computer science for a while before joining the company.
Yes.
Michael, I don't think we'll ever go back to computer science.
Oh, I've never felt worse in my entire life.
Michael hates computer science, but the technology does still interest you. You excel in technology. I think that it is, it excites you.
Look at this. You opened up Google Docs all by yourself.
Exactly, like lightning. And I think one of the brands that just excite me so much from a technological point of view, from a display point of view, is resins. And this is in titanium.
Whoa.
And I thought about this.
Yeah.
And there was talking watches where some point someone was putting on a resins and they said, this is the Apple Watch of watches.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
It's just this like never seen before display of technology that, yes, while unique,
innovation
is still like it does. These capabilities do largely exist elsewhere, right?
Right.
It's unique, but the display is just like no other, right?
Wow.
iOS is, if you like Apple, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to leave it.
Exactly.
And it's
Right.
because it's unique, and the user experience is special. And I think the user experience of a Resonance is special. I don't think this is a watch you'd ever fall out of love with. It's a little bit big at 41 millimeters, but there's no bezel.
There's no bezel.
So this watch probably wears small.
Wow.
Okay. And I think that you would love it. They're surprisingly affordable, below $20,000. And I think that they're just great. I think that Resonance is a great micro brand.
Wow.
Okay.
Nailing it so far.
The next one is a dress watch. All right. And I know that Michael.
You know the importance.
We've been talking about dress watches a lot lately because Michael was speaking to someone. You could tell the story a little bit.
I'll tell two stories. One, and I've said this a few times, but it really, the more I think about it and the more I talk to you about it, the more I'm like, this is very important. But one, I got my friend Ronnie an Omega dress watch, sport watch, hybrid. It was a vintage, so it kind of runs the middle. And gave it to him for his wedding, got the back engraved. And giving it to him obviously was very special because it was the first time I was like, wow, all the content I've watched growing up, loving watches, from Hodinkee to T&H before I was in here, passing watches down, giving watches as gifts. I was like, this is the first major one where I'm doing it intentionally. And that was incredibly special. And then talking to that guy being like, today is the day that is engraved on the back of your watch. Like, that's surreal. You usually see plus 50 years.
Yeah.
I was like, that's very surreal. And then the other thing, which you may be referring to, the dad. Yes. The bride's dad wears a solid gold VC dress watch for everything. If he's going for a run, he wears that watch. If he's getting breakfast, he wears that watch. If he's at the gym, he wears that watch, to the point where it is beyond iconic that you just got back from a 10-mile run wearing like an old strapped Vacheron from when you started your business or something.
Yes, it's amazing. It's the idea of that old conservative precious watch is just amazing.
And it's like, for her, that is her dad's watch.
Yep.
Her dad does not have a watch collection.
Yep.
That is her dad's watch.
So I said to myself, okay, well, if Michael's going to have one dress watch, right?
Yes.
Precious metal, leather strap, something that you're going to wear, forever. You look. I have a pretty good understanding of the historical time-only watches, and while today the brands compete a little bit better, right? I think the Vacheron makes a great one. Patek makes a great. They all do a good job, but going back in time, so far as time only, and frankly, a lot of Patek really did the best. Calatravas. They really, I mean, it's
It saved the entire brand.
it saved the entire brand, right? We've got a Vacheron in the shop right now that's time only, and it's great. It's got a crown at 12, not 3. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, I see this.
But I know that 32 millimeters is too small for you,
Yep.
and frankly, that Vacheron is miles ahead of a lot of other vintage Vacherons. They were just a little bit more dainty than the Paddocks, right? The
Yes.
Paddocks were, like the 570 reference, a little bit larger.
Yes.
35 millimeters, right?
That's spot on.
Right? Center seconds, great watch. Love it.
Love
I
it.
would recommend this watch for you, but I just don't think you'd want a Patek. I really don't.
I have struggled with my thoughts on wanting a Patek.
You know, maybe at some point, I think you'd want something of equal prestige, but I just don't think it would be Patek.
I think you're spot on.
I would say Audemars, but frankly, I don't think that Audemars competes all that well.
But frankly, I don't think you're that big a fan of a Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that Audemars competes as direct. I don't think that he did as good of a job, and they certainly didn't do as good a job at scale. Some Audemars vintage watches were like amazing, but they're still just not as good as Patek. But from Vacheron, there was one watch that is just, and I think that it's a brand that resonates with you. It's a brand narrative that resonates with you, and I think that there's one watch that just stands above them all, and it is not time only. It is a chronograph, which I know that you love,
Yes,
and
I
it is
do.
the Corne de Vache. And it is 35 millimeters in diameter.
That's
it is
my
the perfect
size.
sizing. It is obviously on a leather strap, 18 karat yellow gold, perfect, very minimalistic dial. With, do you know what Corne de Vache means? It's the horn of the cow, right? That's how Swiss it is.
Oh my
right?
God.
That is the design. Okay?
Wow, yeah,
And I can see this watch on your wrist for every day for the rest of your life. You have a full watch collection here, so it wouldn't be. But this watch, I mean, it's just it needs no brother.
Dude, you sold me on the cow horn.
It needs no brother. Like, imagine being a watchmaker, thinking about creative direction of your next watch while you're sitting in the Val d'Ajou, saying to yourself, like, what should it be like?
Yeah, what should I look on for inspiration even?
Mind you, decades before Genta said, the porthole.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
No, you're thinking, what is around me? And what is around you, right? It's cheese and cows. Well, what is beautiful about a cow? I can't put spots all over the dial, right? Maybe now you could, but then
right.
What about those beautiful horns? That is design.
Yes,
that is brilliant.
That is what we like about Cartier.
It's exactly what we like about Cartier.
Yeah.
You know, they looked around them, and the world and other great art and nature was their inspiration.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So that would be the dress watch that I'd give you. Watches are unimportant to the time. They can't speed, slow, or stop it, and our phones tell it better. But, as vessels for memories, they know few rivals. You still need, I don't classify that as the gold watch. I don't classify that as the baller watch.
Right.
You need a gold watch with a gold bracelet because it's, there's so much power in it to say, in a way, even though it's not your most expensive watch, God knows.
Yeah, of course.
I've arrived. I wear a gold watch, and to me, there is no rival to the presidential bracelet. You need a yellow gold day date, and I think while there are other great day dates out there, there are great colors and great dials. You got to buy back the day date that you sold. Red quarters.
Oh, yeah.
Red quarter day date, yellow gold, white dial, because, what is victory if you didn't, snatch it from the jaws of defeat, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So,
what an amazing
that's your
list.
watch collection.
The solid gold watch is also the most representative of our back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like this whole thing is solid gold watch, sports watch.
Totally.
So that's the switch that would be like the grand finale.
Exactly. When I get my sports watch and you get your gold watch, the
channel explodes.
The fusion has been complete.
Yeah,
exactly. And we both end up, pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
It's time to pass
We've
the watches
changed
down.
biology, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So watch collecting is just so much fun. It's such a personal experience, which is why I tell people to make it a personal experience, right? It's so easy to end up just buying what everyone tells you. It's so easy, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that people are suffering from that now because prices have dropped so much in so many other facets of the market, right? So many expensive watches have halved in value. I know someone that bought a John Mayer Daytona the other day for $62,000. That watch was $125,000 at one point.
Not long ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. So once you get punched in the mouth, you really realize what you actually liked all along. Right? That's it. So I push people to be more personal, to be more introspective, find out what their taste is, and just explore the hobby further. So that's it, my man. That's your watch collection. Do I know you? Do I know you?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you like watches, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And if you want access to our full podcast, which we release once a week, there's a link to The Zero. Again, we release once a week where we interview Michael, we interview my dad, and hang out with a glass of wine, industry legends, watch dealers, for a really kind of no bullshit approach to the market, right?
Yes.
Both prices, but also just background and history. And it's a great podcast. I'd love to see you over there. It's not free. It's $9.99 a month, but we give you a ton of credits. So you basically get free shit all the time from us.
From the TNA
it
shop.
ends up being a wash, really, throughout the years. So I hope that you go on over there and sign up. And if you do, shoot me a DM and I'll get right back to you. Looking forward to welcoming you aboard to The Zero. That's it. Michael.
That's it.
Boom.